Do you ever catch yourself daydreaming about the epic days of WoW 3.3.5? That rush of nostalgia is more than just a trip down memory lane. It's a powerful force that shapes how we view our gaming experiences. When you think back to those late-night raids or epic boss battles, it's easy to gloss over the flaws and focus only on the good times. Nostalgia has a way of softening the edges of our memories, making us remember the thrill of the chase and the joy of camaraderie, while conveniently forgetting the balance issues or technical glitches that might have plagued our adventures. This emotional connection is what keeps players coming back to old content, even years later. It's like a warm hug that wraps around us, reminding us of a time when the game felt fresh and exciting. But as we dive deeper, we'll unpack how this sentimental attachment can sometimes cloud our judgment. Let's explore the psychology behind nostalgia in gaming and how it can shape our perceptions, making us more forgiving of the flaws that we may have once raged against. So, let's take a closer look at what nostalgia really means for our love of WoW. Continuing from that emotional connection, let's dig into why nostalgia is such a powerful force in gaming. It taps into our emotions, creating a sense of belonging and comfort. When we think back to our time in WoW, we often remember the thrill of defeating the Lich King with friends or the excitement of leveling up a new character. These experiences aren't just about the game, they're tied to our lives, friendships, and the community we built around it. But as we dive deeper, we'll unpack how this sentimental attachment can sometimes cloud our judgment. Let's explore the psychology behind nostalgia in gaming and how it can shape our perceptions, making us more forgiving of the flaws that we may have once raged against. So, let's take a closer look at what nostalgia really means for our love of WoW. Continuing from that emotional connection, let's dig into why nostalgia is such a powerful force in gaming. It taps into our emotions, creating a sense of belonging and comfort. When we think back to our time in WoW, we often remember the thrill of defeating the Lich King with friends or the excitement of leveling up a new character. These experiences aren't just about the game, they're tied to our lives, friendships, and the community we built around it. As we continue, we'll uncover how these powerful nostalgic feelings can impact our current gameplay and discussions around WoW, keeping that memory alive even when reality might tell a different story. So, let's explore how this nostalgia shapes our ongoing relationship with the game and the community.
Yeah. Yes, dude, that was fucking badass. That was really, really good. Yeah, I think the remaster of it is amazing. Like, I was like, I'll be honest, before I saw it, I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, maybe it won't look good, or maybe it'll be like kind of like scuffed or something like that. God damn, that was good.
Building on those nostalgic memories, let's take a closer look at some of the gameplay mechanics that shape the experience in WoW, particularly class balance issues. Many players fondly remember their time in raids and battlegrounds, but it's hard to ignore the perceived imbalances that affected gameplay. For instance, Death Knights and Paladins often dominated the scene, while classes like Druids and Warriors struggled to find their footing. This disparity impacted not just individual performance but also group dynamics, leading to frustration during both PvE and PvP encounters. Speaking of PvP, the complaints were loud and clear. Matchmaking often favored those who played the top-tier classes, leaving others feeling outmatched and underappreciated. Players frequently voiced their frustrations about burst damage and crowd control mechanics that made it hard to compete fairly. It wasn't uncommon for players to feel that their skill was overshadowed by the inherent advantages of certain classes. When it comes to raiding, nostalgia often blinds us to the complexities involved. While many remember the thrill of defeating a boss, the reality is that some encounters were overly complex or required specific class compositions, making them less accessible to casual players. This mix of challenging mechanics and class imbalances created an experience that, while thrilling, was not as universally engaging as many remember. As we dive into the community dynamics of WoW, it's impossible to overlook the impact of the Dungeon Finder. This feature revolutionized how players interacted, making it easy to form groups without the need for social networking in-game. While it streamlined access to dungeons and raids, it also changed the fabric of the community. Gone were the days of forming bonds through lengthy chats in capital cities. Instead, players often jumped straight into dungeons with strangers, leading to a more transactional experience. Anonymity became a double-edged sword. While it allowed newcomers to dive into the game, it also paved the way for toxic behavior. Without accountability, some players felt free to unleash negativity, which could sour the experience for others. The vibrant community spirit that once thrived in the game began to wane, replaced by a sense of isolation that many felt was detrimental to the overall experience. Now let's talk about content saturation. WoW offered a wealth of content, but as time went on, players began to feel the weight of repetitive gameplay. With so many dungeons and raids to tackle, the thrill of new experiences began to fade. Many players found themselves grinding the same content, leading to burnout and a lack of engagement. By the end of the expansion, the promise of fresh adventures was overshadowed by a sense of sameness. This lack of innovation left some players longing for the excitement of new quests and challenges, highlighting the delicate balance between quantity and quality in gaming. Ultimately, while 3.3.5 was beloved, it wasn't without its cracks that nostalgia often glosses over. When reminiscing about WoW, it's easy to overlook the bugs and technical issues that occasionally marred the experience. Players often encountered game-breaking glitches, from strange collision errors to quest items not spawning correctly. These bugs could disrupt gameplay, leading to frustration during crucial raids or while trying to complete quests. For many, these technical hiccups faded into the background of their fond memories, overshadowed by the excitement of epic battles and camaraderie. Nostalgia tends to soften the harsher realities of our experiences, making us forget the times we raged at our screens due to a server crash or an inexplicable bug. While these issues were part of the package, they often get lost in the glow of our cherished recollections. Reflecting on these aspects can provide a more balanced view of 3.3.5, reminding us that even the best memories come with their fair share of frustrations. When we compare WoW to more recent expansions, it's clear that Blizzard has made significant strides in gameplay mechanics and player engagement. One of the most notable improvements is the emphasis on storytelling. While 3.3.5 featured an epic narrative centered around the Lich King, later expansions like Legion and Shadowlands have introduced even more intricate story arcs and character development, drawing players deeper into the lore of Azeroth. Another major advancement is the refinement of class balance and gameplay mechanics. Recent expansions have implemented more nuanced systems, such as the artifact weapons in Legion, which allow for greater customization and specialization. This has created a more dynamic gameplay experience, addressing many of the class imbalances that plagued older expansions. Quality of life improvements also stand out. Features like the Group Finder tool enhance social interactions, allowing players to connect without losing the essence of community. Additionally, modern expansions have made strides in accessibility, ensuring that both casual and hardcore players can enjoy the content without feeling left behind. However, some players still yearn for the simplicity and charm of Wrath of the Lich King. While newer content has evolved the game significantly, it's essential to appreciate how far WoW has come. The innovations in gameplay, storytelling, and community engagement reflect Blizzard's ongoing commitment to keeping the World of Warcraft vibrant and relevant, even as we look back fondly on the past. As I wrap up this exploration of WoW, it's essential to reassess nostalgia and reflect on your own experiences in Azeroth. While the memories of epic raids, community bonding, and thrilling adventures are undeniably cherished, it's also important to acknowledge the challenges that came with them. The class imbalances, technical issues, and shifts in community dynamics all played significant roles in shaping the gameplay experience. So, what are your thoughts? Did you remember it as a nostalgic masterpiece, or you enjoy the current content more? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and a subscribe. Your help really helps me post more videos and keep you updated. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.